Hey Chelsea, this is looking good. It's good progress from last week. I would, encourage you to put it into step mode so we can look at these as poses. I'll try to identify where your key poses are. Now, I am not drawing. Why am I not drawing? There we go. So we're going to call this the contact pose. We're going to call this the down pose. I'll say that this is your passing pose back to a contact pose, and somewhere in here is an in-between pose. So this one is the same as this one, and then all of these are going to have their mirrors and all the same note supply. So let's talk about your key poses. This I'm going to look at purely from the side. It looks like in this view and this view, it feels like this part of the pelvis is coming forward, but in the side view, I'm not seeing a lot of the back of the pelvis. I'm not sure. So when I look at it in this view, I want to say, like, rotate the pelvis a little bit more. But then when I look at it in the front view here, I see that the pelvis is rotating. So that's a little odd. Maybe you're not, I'm not sure what's going on there, but maybe you can help me figure out what's going on there. Anyways, with this foot here, I feel like I want to see it straighter, yeah, so that this is out forward a little bit more. And in order to get the length on the leg to reach that far forward, you may have to like bring the pelvis down a little bit overall. It may force you. I love that the toe bend here and the angle of this foot. I think that all is like really successful. But maybe we can straighten out this back leg a little bit. Just get this, because this is the extreme poses of your stride, so I want to get those legs a little bit further apart. But I love, it looks nice what's going on with your upper torso. This twist here is nice. The lean forward is nice. So those are small things, but it's just to make the stride a little bit larger, work on that pose. This down pose is really nice. I think I'm going to give you a timing note that maybe it should be 2 frames later instead of 3 frames later. Like this front foot here, I want to see like flat on the ground in just a couple frames. And I will evaluate this pose, but it would be nice if you could bump it forward in time by make it earlier by 1 frame. Actually, I feel like, okay, never mind. I'm gonna ask you to make another pose here, and it's going to be sort of similar based off of this one. Not too much has to happen, but I want to see this foot take the weight, right? Take the weight and still be, this is a horrible drawing. I need the leg to be straighter, so I'm going to erase this and make it straighter. But it is the point where, like, what the pelvis should drop, because the weight's going onto this foot. This is terrible, my drawing, my goodness. Anyways, the back foot should kind of like pick straight up from where it is here. So this is a good pose. I feel like it's just happening a little early in time, which is, you need this, like, this is contact and that's plant. So hopefully these drawings kind of communicate what I'm looking for here. So before the foot really goes back too far, it kind of plants down there, and then the pelvis drops lower as it takes the weight of this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this as one of your keys, because I think this will be more. This is what I was kind of seeing with. So the reason I made this the key is because I saw that this foot was fully planted here, but I think it needs to happen a little sooner, and it needs to happen a little bit more out in space, like kind of how I drew it here. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, give me a shout out. This is nice. This is nice. This should be the highest point of the pelvis here. I see a lot of great things happening. I'm trying not to give you too many notes on this view because I'll make another pass. But I like how you're tipping up the pelvis here like that. That's great. I like how this leg is totally straight and that heel is on the ground. All that's great. the forward lean on the body, great. Great stuff. You know, I like too how you're passing this foot by. I don't feel like it's too high up off the ground. Really good stuff. Good attention to those details. This is kind of an in-between pose where the heel is starting to come up, which I think works very well. And then here is going to be very similar to the notes given you here, where if you can, I want to see, now see this pelvis looks super rotated here. Doesn't look rotated there as much. Not sure what's going on, but I like the rotation of the pelvis here. I'm feeling it. See if you can just get these feet a little bit farther apart, like I talked about, and maybe in order to give yourself enough leg to do it, you got to bring the center of gravity down a little bit. All right, I'm going to look over at the forward pose now. Yeah, the side to side is working much better. I'm going to delete this drawing. I don't think it serves a lot of purpose, and it's confusing me as to what the keys are. This is great. This is great, the side to side that you have going on here. I know when you play it, because it's spline, the motion doesn't look quite right? But if I'm looking at this from the perspective of poses, that's looking really nice. Maybe you're coming over this way just a little bit too far too soon. You know what I mean? Like, this is great to hit. So what I'm trying to say is, if I'm tracking the lateral part of this, you know, like you're going over that much, which is great. But then in this pose, it like instantly heads back this way. I think you have to live a little bit more around here, so like your keyframes, you'll have a nice ease out. I'm having trouble explaining this through drawings, but I guess to simplify the note is just leave it a little bit more left screen before you start to bring it over to the right screen. Like, this is looking good in this pose. It's a tiny note, so don't worry about it too much. And we can talk about it more in class. But yeah, nice improvements from the last submission. This is starting to look really solid. So we can talk about how to pose the thumb a little bit. I think that this looks a little broken from this perspective. It's a tiny thing. Don't worry about it. We haven't talked about the thumb rig and how this all works. But we'll take a look at that before we reach the end of this walk cycle. But good work. Well done, and keep it up. And try to go to stepped. Ha ha ha. All right. Bye.